Ananda is a worldwide group of individuals who share the search for higher consciousness and the ideal of service to others. We express this service by offering uplifting values and techniques for achieving peace of mind and inner happiness. Swami Kriyananda founded Ananda Village in 1968 to fulfill Yogananda's vision of world brotherhood colonies, or spiritual cooperative communities. Ananda came into existence in the late 1960s, a time when America saw thousands of attempts to create new models of living. Most of these experiments never survived their first year, but Ananda has thrived and grown. The thoughtful person must wonder why. 3 reasons stand above all others. First, Ananda is built on high spiritual principles, with daily meditation as the oil that lubricates all of our interactions. Secondly, we put primary emphasis on the growth of every individual. And finally, through all tests and trials, we have stubbornly held to dharma, or righteous action. Ananda members are disciples of Paramhansa Yogananda. Yogananda was born in India in 1893 and is best known as the author of the best-selling book, Autobiography of a Yogi. In 1920, the young yoga master received an invitation from the American Unitarian Association to serve as India's delegate to the International Congress of Religious Liberals, meeting that year in Boston. Paramhansa Yogananda arrived in Boston in August of 1920, and on the 6th of October presented his first speech in America as planned. In America, he found many people hungry for India's spiritual teachings and for the liberating techniques of yoga. For the next 4 years, Yogananda stayed in Boston, giving public lectures, teaching classes, and writing. He then embarked on a nationwide speaking tour, encompassing every major city in America. He filled auditoriums to capacity everywhere he spoke, revealing the science of yoga to seekers from Salt Lake City to Cincinnati. In 1925, the Los Angeles Times reported thousands being turned away from the 3,000-seat Philharmonic Auditorium. The article went on to say, Swami Yogananda is the attraction, a Hindu invading the United States to bring God in the midst of a Christian community, preaching the essence of Christian doctrine. After completing his standing room-only lecture tour, Yogananda decided to stay on in California, where in 1925 he established an American headquarters in Los Angeles. He was the first yoga master of India to take up permanent residence in the West. Unlike most other teachers from India, he never tried to impose his own country's cultural modes on Americans, but sought rather to show Americans how to spiritualize their own culture. Dynamically and with contagious joy, he set out to persuade minds steeped in the virtues of down-to-earth practicality that the most practical course of all is to seek God. Paramhansa Yogananda's teachings are non-sectarian and offer practical solutions to the challenges of modern life. Yogananda's guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar, sent him to the West with the admonition, "The West is high in material attainments, but lacking in spiritual understanding. It is God's will that you play a role in teaching mankind the value of balancing the material with an inner, spiritual life." The path of Kriya Yoga, which Yogananda called the jet airplane route to God, consists of ancient yoga techniques to hasten the spiritual evolution of the student. Kriya Yoga forms the cornerstone of Paramhansa Yogananda's spiritual teachings. Through this meditation technique, one can realize God. Paramhansa Yogananda also taught that what the world needs is a blend of the best qualities of East and West, the spiritual insight of the East and the practical efficiency of the West. One without the other leads to a society barren of fulfillment, but a balance of the two can bring peace, harmony, prosperity, and happiness. He often predicted that world brotherhood colonies, based on the twin principles of plain living and high thinking, would be the social pattern for the future. He envisioned a place where all people, not just monastics, could devote themselves to living a divine life, dedicated to practicing the teachings of yoga in every aspect of their daily life. Yogananda remained in America until the time of his passing in 1952. He was mourned by millions who had embraced his yogic teachings, his emphasis on the unity of all religions, his shunning of religious dogma, and his unwavering call for every individual to self-realize the presence of God within. Swami Kriyananda, James Donald Walters, is a direct disciple of Paramhansa Yogananda. Over the last 50-plus years, Kriyananda has dedicated his life to spreading the teaching and the spirit of his great guru. In 1948, the young truth seeker read Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramhansa Yogananda's great opus. He came upon it in New York City. This was September 1948. The young man took almost the next bus across America, a journey of 4 days and 4 nights, to Los Angeles, where the great guru had his headquarters. The first words he addressed to the master were, "I want to be your disciple." Thus began the thrilling odyssey of young Kriyananda's life. He was accepted that very day. For the next 10 years, he lived in his guru's ashram on Mount Washington. Only a year later, his guru placed him in charge of the other monks. His guru also made him a teacher and a minister. Kriyananda was to be given many other responsibilities over the years. He became the director of center activities worldwide. He organized many aspects of his guru's organization. In time, he became the first vice president and a member of the SRF board of directors. A point that Kriyananda's great guru emphasized repeatedly in his lectures and writings was the importance of devotees living together in world brotherhood colonies, sharing their spiritual aspirations.
And now we have about 1,000 people living in our communities in different places, including Assisi, including different states of America. And this is an absolutely thrilling thing to find, that you don't see anger, you don't see jealousy, you don't see people talking against each other. You find kindness and harmony and support. And if somebody doesn't have a job, they all help him to get a job. And if somebody makes a mistake, everybody tries to help to correct him. They don't just gossip about him. It is a wonderful place to live. I say, my own very sincere opinion is that this is the most important thing happening in the world today, because this example will make people think it is possible to live with others in peace, harmony, brotherhood, and happiness. And I want to start that in India. I want, instead of villages where people just live together and fight together, instead of families where people manage to get at each other's throats, I want a family, even 1,000 people in that family, but people who really love God. And because they love God, they see God in one another. And because they see God in one another, they help each other. When somebody goes to the hospital, they go and try to help him. They all pray for him. When a couple get married, they offer them things so they can go and have a honeymoon or settle down comfortably. Everybody helps everybody else. It's a fantastic way of life. And we take it for granted. But I would like to show just one example. People come to us from all over the world. Just recently, I think it was 20 people came from Taiwan. People come from everywhere to our village to see, well, how do you do this? I would like them to come to Pune, Delhi, other places, and let them see such communities. I beg all of you to think seriously about getting together in communities. It will be something that you don't have to live in abject poverty. We can have businesses where we support ourselves. We who don't make much in Ananda, we travel all over the world. You'll be surprised how much you can do when you live simply.
The future for Ananda Sangha in India seems bright, for its true spiritual home is on the Indian subcontinent, land of great saints and masters, and the birthplace of the great Guru of Ananda Sangha, Sri Paramhansa Yogananda.